Well, good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Tuesday, May 16, 2023 session in our series on entrepreneurship and Asian high-tech industries. I'm Richard Dasher. I direct the USAsia Technology Management Center, which produces this series. And we want to start, as we always do, by thanking our member companies for supporting our center, which allows us to put on this program. We're not paid by Stanford for delivering this class. So it really is thanks to our member companies that we can provide this seminar series. Today is the first of two sessions that we have that really look at this theme of international activities among entrepreneurs in Asia. Today, we have three entrepreneurs from Japan who are all active in Silicon Valley. And next week, if you saw the slide going by, we will have Ms. Shiho Watabe, who is the head of Shibuya Startup, KK, meaning Joint Stock Company. And she will introduce two members of her first cohort of foreign companies that are moving into Shibuya to set up their business there. We can't release their names at this point, but I've been talking to Shiho about who it's likely to be. And so expect her and a couple of entrepreneurs that will be interesting next week as well. This week, I'm delighted to be able to introduce three people that kind of feel like old friends. Farthest away from me, Ms. Akemi Koda is the founder, CEO, and also a board director of USAsia Venture Partners, which is a strategic consulting and investing firm. In the middle of the table is Mr. Kenji Niwa, who is the founder and CEO of Firstcard. Kenji worked with me for a year as a visiting scholar at Stanford before he started Firstcard. And so I'm intentionally not giving people's bios away at this point because they all have interesting things in their background that I want them to share. And sitting closest to me is Mr. Changhwan Lee, who is the currently senior VP, founder and CEO of Firenze. Firenze, as in the way you say Florence, Italy in Japanese, a company that specializes in strategic consulting and also investing. Each of these people have a really interesting story to tell, and I want to get out of the way and let our panelists start telling their stories. We'll go in order from Akemi first. Akemi, floor is yours.
Thank you, Dr. Dasher. Can you hear me well?
Yep.
When I was a child, I'd like to talk about when I was a child, I saw a world map and my grandfather told me a small island called Japan. And I felt that island was so small compared to the rest of the world. And it was a powerful realization for me. My desire to venture out into the world only grew stronger. I knew someday I wanted to see all over the world for myself and experience. So my desire to venture out into the world only grew stronger. I know somebody I wanted to see all over the world and for myself and experience what would have offered, including new cultures and meeting the new people. It was this desire that led me to set my sight on move to America when I became adult as a student, with hope of expanding my worldview and finding new opportunities. Finally, my dream came true. I moved to the United States, although it was challenging my first adapt to new culture. I never lost my passion for discovery. I continue to do so every day. After my college, I started working for United Airlines so I could see the world, fly all over the world. My venture into the world began after working for global high-tech companies. First, my venture was with my friend. We established a social club called Apogee Club and offer female professionals chance to share the experience and form connection with others. After that, I worked on the startup for airfare because I had an airline experience. We worked on a machine learning prediction with my friend and my data scientist. And we worked for 2 years over the weekend. After working for several global companies, I decided to found the USAsia Venture Partners, a premier strategic consulting company. We help our clients discover new opportunities for innovation and market disruption across the wide range industries by experienced team. Moreover, I have been contributing many organizations, including Japan Chamber of Northern California, Keizai Silicon Valley, and then also U.S. Innovation Award as a program innovation award. As a mentor, an advisor, and investor, I attended a various pitch events and helping them. Additionally, I got involved with the startup community. I met many investors, VCs at their holiday parties, beer bash on Friday, happy hours, and more. Being involved in the startup environment felt natural to me, and I wanted to help them. That is why I became an angel investor, so I can provide the startup with more than just funding. Angel investor can also offer mentorship, advice, and access to their networks, which can be very valuable resource for early stage companies. Also, I am very motivated by a desire to make a positive impact on society. Finally, my life-changing event was also graduating from Stanford executive program. It was a transformational journey for me in many ways. The class covered a wide range topic of covering 3 different levels of ecosystem, individual, and organization system. This experience had the last impact on the way, I think, helping me bridge gap between who I am now and who I want to be in a meaningful way. Those activities can be valuable experience and help me grow personally and professionally. I built professional networks. All activities help me expand my professional network and potentially lead new business opportunity and collaboration. And developing new own skills is also helped me improving my investing skills in areas such as critical thinking and decision making. And then also, third is I am helping to support, promote innovation that can be rewarding way to give back to the startup community and support the next generation of entrepreneurship. And then also passion and innovation is my motivation for being angel investor. By evaluating pitch from different startups, I also gained valuable insight from emerging trend and technology in many industries. This helped me to stay updated with the latest development and potentially identify new business opportunities. I reflect on my journey. I'm thankful for this thankful for sense of wonder I initially sparked my desire to explore the world. This powerful force has brought me to where I am today, and I eagerly can participate where it led me to in future. So this is my favorite things. Failure is success if we learn from it, by Malcolm Ford. So traveling around and volunteer experience and professional experience and education add value to my professional development and provided opportunities for advancing my career. And also those books and the video and the event are my recommendation. Thank you.
So thanks, Akemi-san. You can stop sharing. For everybody, I would like to point out that we've been doing the Japan-US Innovation Awards for 13 years now. And every year we look at about 120 startup companies, narrow it down to 5 that we want to bring here to Silicon Valley. We also give an Emerging Leader Award to a later stage company that is really on the verge of transforming some industry value chain. I say that because we've worked with Akemi. We've worked together on this since the very beginning.
Yes.
And she gives great leads for deal sources. And she also is incredibly precise and kind of severe when we're discussing the potential company. So I gotta ask you, really, the Stanford Executive Program, you were already involved with USAsia Venture Partners before you did that.
Yes.
How did you learn all the things you have to know in order to be an angel investor? The first time some company comes to you and says, you know, we'll sell you 5% of the company for X amount of money, how do you know whether it's a good deal or not?
I think back to when I was a child, my whole family was entrepreneurs.
Okay.
My grandpa owned the mid-sized trading companies. My
Okay.
father has own companies, and my brother has own company. Everybody fairly success.
Okay.
So I
Okay.
learned when I was a child that always we are talking about new opportunities, how we're gonna grow the business, stuff like that. That
Okay.
helps me a lot. And then
And
also,
so it also applies here in Silicon Valley,
yes,
not just what was happening in Japan.
right, yes. And also the USAsia Venture Partners or strategic consulting company, so we can always we're practicing, to the due diligence.
Okay. Okay. That sounds good. We'll come back to some of these points. Kenji, Niwa-san, let me ask you to go next. You've got some slides to share?
Hello, I'm Kenji, co-founder and CEO of Firstcard. Thank you, Dr. Dasher. Thank you for having me today. So it's very honor to be here. So yeah, let me share my background. So we are building Firstcard, which is providing fintech products like a debit card and credit card for college students. So before that, I was, this is a kind of new, our credit product we are gonna launch soon. We are so excited about this. And then, my background is that I started my first startup back in 2007 when I was a college student at USAsia. And at the time, so we provided job platforms specialized in internships. And then at the moment, internship was not common in Japan. And then I personally did internship as a student, and it was kind of life-changing event. So I thought, oh, this should be a more common and popularized. So that's why I started my previous startup. Then, I was running the company for about 9 years, and then we helped over 10,000 college students to get internship job, and helped over 2,000 companies to hire those students. And we grew to about 40 employees, and finally, I sold the company to the called N Japan, which is one of the biggest HR companies in Japan. And after that, I came to the United States in 2017. So the reason why I came to the US is I was always wanted to build a great company that can thrive globally. So and then I thought starting business in the US is the best way to build global company. So that's why I moved to the US. And then, but I had a kind of no clue how to start business in the US. So that's why, as Dr. Dasha mentioned, I come to the Stanford as a visiting scholar, and then I made over like a 30 angel investment for 3 years, and yeah, during the time I was able to invest in great companies such as a Substack and other Japanese companies. 3 of the a Japanese company went public. So I learned a lot through this experience. And then I went to MBA at UC Berkeley as well. And then I was always seeking the opportunity, how to start a startup here. Then finally I realized that I love helping young people and college students. So that's why I talked with over 200 students across the US, and then I realized that they're suffering from financial difficulties. So that's why I thought by building a fintech product like a banking or credit card specifically for college students, I can help them financially. So that's why I started Firstcard back in 2020. Yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah.
No, that's great. So you can hire an engineer in Japan for about a quarter of the cost that you can hire one here in Silicon Valley.
That's true.
Right. With Firstcard, did you hire everybody here? Do you have people working in Japan?
There's no people from Japan, but we have some people in Brazil,
okay,
in India. So 3 full-time engineers are working on from Brazil. Yeah.
Okay. So having the higher expense here in Silicon Valley is still worth it.
Yes, I believe so. Yeah, as a founder, especially because there are tons of opportunity to have an in-person meeting with VCs, other founders. I believe it's worth it. Yeah.
Okay, great. We'll come back to these points in a little bit too. So our third speaker today is Mr. Changhwan Lee. And Changhwan, you and I have had a number of discussions, and you may be working with me, or probably will be working with me as a visiting scholar from this next year. But tell us a little bit about how you got to where you are. First of all, Changhwan is not exactly a Japanese name.
Yeah.
How did you get to Japan?
When I was a high school student, my family moved to Japan.
Okay, this is kind of not a simple thing to do in high school. And then you went to a Japanese university, right?
Yeah, I did.
Without having gone to school in Japan all this time.
Actually, so it was very harsh to learn Japanese at first.
Yeah, I can imagine. Okay, go ahead and get the slides set up.
Let me check. Okay. Hello, everyone. Nice to meet you. I'm honored to be able to meet you today. I am of Korean nationality, and my name is Changhwan Lee. I received higher education in Japan as an immigrant. While working in a student loan company, I finally realized I couldn't raise funds from a Japanese VC without a permanent visa in Japan. And therefore, I decided to work a Japanese company until I obtained permanent residency. My first career was at a company called DNA Corporation. I was involved in business strategy planning and business promotion for a taxi dispatching app called Go, which is now the largest taxi app in Japan, and for an automobile insurance service called DriveChart. Initially, DNA was considering a new service use autonomous vehicle, but they adopted my business strategy and decided to invest significant capital, mainly in my strategy.
Yeah, let me jump in a minute. For those of you who might not know who DNA is, they were a mobile gaming platform company to start. Then they became a game publisher in Japan. So doing a taxi hailing service was kind of definitely an extension of their original business model. And Changhwan was really the person that figured out how to make it work. So indeed, Go Taxi is one of the biggest taxi companies in Japan now.
Yeah, exactly. Currently, the two services was spin out from DNA and become a company called MOT. MOT is one of the biggest startup in Japan. I'm so proud of that achievement. Afterwards, I become a founder of an autonomous driving company following my experience in the strategic planning office of Recruit Holdings. Through my experience with the DNA and co-working with other startups like Nissan, and Nissan motorcycle, I realized that autonomous driving technology alone, depending on reinforcement learning, would be extremely challenging to implement in complex road environment, especially considering whether car running in the Bay Area couldn't adapt to Japanese traffic rule and condition navigate efficiently. I seen a significant business opportunity. So I co-founded this company named Connective Intelligence Technology with Professor Suganuma from Kanazawa University, who has leading autonomous driving technology in Japan that has been recognized with award at IEEE, a global academic society. However, I had difficulty reaching on agreement with Kanazawa University regarding the ownership of the source code written by Professor Suganuma, resulting in the dissolution of the business. Unlike other speakers in every you met in every week, my story is with failures. However, I haven't given up, and I'm leveraging my past experience in my business strategy and development. I have now established a strategic consulting company aimed at maximizing client market capitalization named Firenze. Our company primarily focus on listed companies. In Japan, many listed companies have low price to book ratio. It's called PBR, making it difficult for them to allocate capital for new investments. We provide a comprehensive strategy that encompasses business synergy and aim to increase their return on equity (ROE). In addition to providing strategic consulting service, we also engage in principal investment in specific domains. Particularly, we focus on area where the strengths of the Japanese market can be leveraged without engage in international competitor like Google and Facebook. These domains include vertical video media, end of life care or termination care, content intellectual property, animation, and real estate business.
So just to be clear, you're investing in startup companies in these three areas, right? Yeah. Medical, such as end-of-life care, also content, media content, and what was the third one?
The vertical video media.
Okay. Video media. Okay.
Yes. It's like the media in the Bay Area, Yelp. Yelp focus in the food industry, right? It is called as vertical media, but I focus on not barbar media, but I focus on in video vertical media in TikTok or YouTube. That's why I have a good opportunity for the invest. Furthermore, I'm looking ahead. I have come to Bay Area this year to explore domains where I can utilize Japanese resource while competing on a global scale. All potential candidates are called as a FANG 2.0. Fuel, aerospace, agriculture, nuclear, gold. From the perspective of the 60 years cycle of the human interest, it is anticipated that policy interest rate will remain high in the next 20 years. This prospect excited me as it may lead to a paradigm shift and upheaval of success in the world during this period. As a challenger, I will strive to make a difference. Thank you for your kind attention.
Okay, thank you. So this is really just on the starting point at this point, right? Okay. All three of you have had entrepreneur experience in Japan as well as here. What are the biggest differences between how you would do things in Japan, getting a company started and growing it, and how you would do it here? Or if it's pretty much the same, that's also a good answer. Akemi-san, why don't you go first?
The speed of decision is much faster here.
So here's speed of decision.
Right.
fast.
So, for example, for my case, investing startup during COVID, we won't be able to see each other.
Yeah.
We did Zoom with 2 weeks or 3 weeks of decision period, and then also taking risk is people love taking risk here. Compared to Japan, Japan is risk failure is kind of a stigma for people.
Yeah.
So people worry about not doing anything.
Okay. Kenji-san?
Yeah, like a size is different, first of all. So for example, Japanese like a venture investment size is just 10 billion. But here in the US, it's $200 billion. So
the total amount of like venture capital and angel investment
invested
in one.
So that's a very big differences. And also like there are so many small differences because for example, like a law but I don't think these are the like a huge differences you can adapt easily, but I would say like a diversity is different. So here in Silicon Valley, so like there are so many international entrepreneurs from all over the world. So that's very different. So back in Japan, like a founder, like a 95% of founders are Japanese, I would say. So those are the differences. And like so many like companies in Japan try to like copy other like Silicon Valley's companies as well. So here, like you have to think about something from scratch.
Yeah.
So of course, there are so many good company in Japan who have a very unique idea, but yeah, it's like a yeah.
No, that's good. Changhwan, what about you? What do you think are the big differences?
Yes, in my view, the startup in Silicon Valley, they look for the global scale. So I mean, Japanese startup, they only focus on Japanese market. Even if I went to try to make a startup, I'm always think about the competitor from overseas, like China and from US. So that's why the size of the startup was quite different compared to Japan and US.
It's also been a considerable advantage to people with international kind of perspectives in Japan.
Exactly.
You can see things other places and really get something started in Japan before anybody else notices. Okay, so this is speeding up decision making, dealing with kind of different size, different diversity, this kind of stuff. Akemi-san, how did you get used to the fast decision making? How did you become able to do that while you're here?
I think just I don't think too much for 1 month or 2 months, 3 months.
Yeah.
And for example, like a investment part, now I have some of my own metrics to, check mark. So yeah. So in process, I'm investing pre-seed and early stage. So very hard to check all the financials, and very hard to predict. So mainly the team is very important.
Okay.
So that is my skill. I start seeing people, meeting a lot of people, talking to more like a dating situation.
Like dating, yeah. Okay. So Kenji-san, having started a company and taken it all the way to exit in Japan and then doing it here, what's the hardest thing about doing it here? The biggest difficulty here as opposed to Japan?
Like there are two big difficulties specifically for me. So one is language, for sure. I had to like learn new words every day, actually. And also like a network building. So when I was starting like a business in Japan, I already have some friends. So that's why like it's easy. Like I have a college friends there. So it's easy to make friends of friends. And then some of friends became founder, some of friends working for like a startup. So that's why like it's like easier to learn something related to like my previous business, like a detailed operation or anything else. But here, like you have to build like your network from scratch. For me, so I didn't have any work experience here, and I didn't go like an undergrad here. So that's the biggest difficulties.
Okay. Changhwan, what about you? How have you gotten into the networking in the Valley? How have you started to meet people?
Yes, even me as a Niwa-san, I'm not good at speaking English, and I'm not graduate from any the college in US. So I'm started to invest a VC, especially the emerging VC. As I mentioned, from last year, the financial market was a crash. So the capital needs in Silicon Valley is quite required. So it is a good chance for me to make a good network by using my money from Japan.
Okay. All right. So Akemi-san, are there things about, first of all, how much do you keep in touch with Japan now? Are you in regular contact? Are you active there in business as well as here?
Yes, USAsia major partners, client, a Japanese corporation. So we have meeting. Often,
So you're talking to people in Japan all the time?
Yes.
Okay. Reason I ask is, do you think things have changed for entrepreneurs in Japan in, say, the last 10 years?
Yes, definitely. Especially corporate CVC is more active. they realized they cannot get in the good deal, early enough. So they started checking seed investment, stuff like that.
So it's
They're
interesting because
open to
corporate VC is when an operating company, as opposed to just a purely investment company, makes an investment for some strategic benefit for their company's business, as well as to earn money on return, right?
right. And then also they are more open to the open innovation with startup companies.
Yeah, yeah.
So compared to 10 years ago, oh, that's too early,
Right.
they're only looking for late
Now they want to
stage.
be earlier and earlier.
Right, they have to be, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. Kenji-san, how do you see things different now in Japan than they were 10 years ago?
Yeah, so as Akemi-san mentioned, like there are so many like a corporate venture capital like emerged, and also like actually like back in like 2007 when I started company, like it was not common to raise equity capital at the moment. So that's why I've never like raised money on my previous company. So
Okay, now, if you don't raise equity capital, which is what people think of here, what do you do?
So I did completely bootstrapped.
Okay.
Yeah, and then I didn't touch money, but I could borrow money from the
You
bank.
took out a loan.
Yeah, like with under my like a personal guarantees.
Right.
It's a very Japanese things. So, but I didn't use that money. But it was very common to run the company without equity at the moment.
Yeah.
So it was like uncommon to see VCs, but around like a 2012 or 13, there are so many VCs emerged, and yeah, that's a kind of the biggest differences.
Yeah.
Compared
Okay.
with 10 years ago.
So Changhwan, you were working with DNA for a while and working with some other companies for a while. How do you see the system in Japan developing the last 10 years?
Oh yeah, I think a lot of things will change for this 10 year. Quite change. Focus on the company. The founder of Namba-san made the venture builder in DNA. It means whoever the employee in DNA can make a startup using their working time.
Yeah,
it's quite crazy.
Yeah.
But Namba-san have decided to make a lot of startup in Japan. That movement was changed any other IT company. Moreover, the government was quite changed. I mentioned I didn't have any permanent visa when I was graduate school in Japan. That's why I fundraise. I cannot fundraise for my startup. But nowadays, Shibuya City in Tokyo, Sapporo City in Hokkaido has a limited permission for a foreigner entrepreneur without any visa. That's why I was that news made me really surprised.
Yeah. Yes, this is, there are a number of surprises, and when the government actually, gives way on immigration law a little bit to encourage foreign entrepreneurs in the country, it's really kind of, yeah.
Yes, I'm envy the foreigner entrepreneur nowadays.
So, okay. Akemi-san, back to you. Do you think being Japanese has helped you in Silicon Valley?
Yes, definitely my case, because when I try to help the startup, they want to expand the business to Japan, especially like invested like robotics companies, autonomous vehicle software companies, and also medical device. Because of Japan, the senior society, they would like to expand business.
Especially recently.
Right. So my investment thesis is a company I can help to expand their business to Japan.
Okay. Okay. Kenji-san, what do you think? Does being Japanese help you here, or is it something that's always making it more difficult?
Yeah, I really appreciate the fact I was able to raise money from Japan, a Japanese institution. So especially it was really tough. We closed the seed round like recently. It was super tough time to raise capital here. But yeah, still, yeah, I think that was the biggest advantage for me to being Japanese. But besides that, I think everyone is equal.
Okay.
Yeah, immigrants.
Around here, it's what you can do for my project that matters, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. Changhwan, what do you think? You have a really interesting background. Moving to Japan at a tough age to move to Japan, getting into the Japanese education system, then getting into the Japanese business system, and then striking out on your own. You did not pick an easy path. What do you think that's done for you?
The benefit of from Japan is very difficult to explain in my case. So I think
or of your own background, not necessarily of Japan.
Okay, all of my background, I can take I can take advantage of how to adapt to the new environment by using my, how can I say, smile and talking skill.
Yeah, okay.
I think that's all. Wherever we can be strive to make a business and make a new friends in the world, even though we didn't use it in the same language.
Yeah. Okay. Be thinking of questions from the audience. And if you have a question, raise your hand and please wait for Brianna to give you a microphone. Okay, we're already ready with several. We're going to have to, one of our mics is not working today, so we had to take it from our table. So, oops. Oh, right here, down front. Yeah.
Hi, thank you for coming. So my question is like, how do you guys validate your potential business ideas and know that they're worth pursuing?
Wow, what a great question. How do you validate your potential business ideas and know that they're worth pursuing?
To me, like just talking to potential customer, and then like we can ask their problem that they're facing. Yeah, just so that's how I started. Like I talked with over like 200 like a potential customer students, and then I come up with the idea.
And maybe both for Changhwan and for Akemi, this especially think about as an angel investor, where you're not just looking at your own idea, you're looking at other people's ideas. Changhwan, why don't you go first?
Okay. When I evaluate the business potential, I looking for two things. One thing is how big is the market it is. I mean, there are so many business in the same market, but some of them has a big mistake of strategy or execution. What else? So you should search what's the fault of the how can I say it, of the executor. The second thing is what's the strong point? If strong point it is if you can make the business. So I mean, let's imagine when you already succeed the business. So what can you do by using the asset? So it is a good point when you evaluate some business.
Okay, if you'd pass the mic over to Akemi-san, especially validating what people claim in their presentations, what kind of due diligence do you do?
Well, I always ask if they have like a customer feedback, they did a survey, they talk to the potential customers, and then also their value position is very clear and differentiate. And then also if the product is has a market fit.
Okay, product market fit. Yeah, that's maybe the hardest one to validate. How anybody on product market fit, because that I think is the big question at especially at the beginning stages of the company. Who wants to take it? Kenji or Akemi-san?
So basically if, for example, medical device, you try to solve the problem in analyzing the cancer. If the number of the cancer patient is so big and they don't have anything medicine to treat and predictable, maybe sometimes AI can be predictable and helpful.
Yeah.
So those are you have to see the potential market in the future, and that is my.
Okay. Okay. Good. I think we had another question right here. You had a question, right?
Hi, thank you so much for being here today. I had a question regarding your experiences working in Japan as compared to in Silicon Valley, specifically sort of the notion that I think in America we tend to be a lot more direct and a lot more upfront, whereas my understanding of sort of the Japanese way, particularly in business, is that it's much more indirect and you sort of have to like read the room. And so I'm wondering, in your transition to working in the United States, what sort of challenges have come up, if any at all, and how you've navigated sort of what you've known in the past, like no longer being true here. Thank you.
Yeah, Kenji, that's got your name on it.
Yeah, I think this is a, to be honest, like it's business is business. So I don't think it's a big difference between Japan and US, especially for startup world. I've never worked in like a traditional Japanese company, but I felt like when I was like running the company in Japan, I thought it's very big difference between like a Japanese startup and traditional Japanese companies. So I don't think like there is a big difference between like a Japanese startup and world and US startup world. So I don't know, this is
Any other comments from the panel? Because I want to comment on this one, but go ahead. Akemi-san.
So in Japan, yes means sometimes not yes. Kind of have to figure out.
There was this old joke by Dave Barry, right?
Right.
No means no. Yes means no. We'll consider your proposal means we're going to feed it to the dog.
So that's I'm having a hard time. And
Yeah.
here it's pretty much like yes is yes. So I can say, oh, okay, let's get move on.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. But that is probably. So
Yeah.
I have to kind of adjust, depend on whom I'm talking to.
Yeah. Okay. Changhwan, anything to add? Because I've got a comment on this one.
Yes. Actually, I have no idea how I work in Silicon Valley, but in case in working in Japan, Japanese employee barely have a good way of teamwork. So that's why Akemi-san I said, Japanese employee always said, any question? Yes, yes, yes. And but but the leader arranged their role as well they can do. So
Okay. So one thing in regard to making a presentation about your company, a pitch presentation, we've almost gotten cliche here with what goes into a good pitch. I think that hasn't hit Japan quite as hard as it's hit here, because in Japan, the decision makers love data. They love to see market projections, especially third-party market projections. They love to see the numbers. And almost always in the US, you'll have some mythical person who will talk, or maybe a real person, who will exemplify the problem you're trying to solve. Starting with that technique has become almost a cliche here. And so I don't think you get that as much in Japan. You do get a kind of preference for data over anecdote in actually making the presentation. With regard to the kind of sort of yes and no and that kind of thing, the challenge in Japan is knowing whether the idea has incubated long enough to really hatch, or whether the people who listen to your presentations are really not ever going to do anything with it. You still have to read the room there for that. And here, they just won't let you come back, right? It's kind of off the table pretty quick. But that does, in some way, give you more opportunities in Japan to try to find out what are the key things that you really need to incorporate into your proposal that will tip the listeners over to a decision. So thanks. That's a great question. Other questions from the group?
Hi. When I think of Japanese like venture capital, SoftBank, led by Mr. Maimoshi-san's team, is really incredible. And his investor presentations in Japanese are really good. Do you take any inspiration from SoftBank or any other large venture capital firms for lessons learned? Like, for example, ARM has their IPO coming up, same with SoftBank as well. They've also contracted. Just curious.
Yeah, personally, I really like Masayoshi-san. So I read a lot of book about him. So I really love his story. So many founder respect his challenges. So it's a big influence to founders. But in terms of the strategy, I don't know. But I learned a lot from their subsidiary called PayPay. Personally, it's a payment business. So I learned a lot from that company. But yeah, I think that's it for me.
Yeah. In my view, I'm sorry, I mentioned I developed the Go Taxi in Japan. So SoftBank invested Didi, it taxi and dispatching app in China.
China, yeah.
And SoftBank has a strong point, a strongness how to develop the startup in Japan market, like a Yahoo. So I have, how can I say it? I have good impression of the Japan entry strategy of SoftBank by using their huge capital. So I think the Japan entry strategy will make sense again after this financial crisis.
Okay.
I respect Son Masayoshi because he's a big risk taker, not like other leader in Japan. That is, I think, influence not only Japan but also other world for venture capital world. They put so much, money in it. Result may not be good, but still, helping the startup community, investing, taking risk it's pretty admirable.
Yeah, we're going to see quite a few down rounds for the rest of this year. And, it's very common to see a company go IPO so that investors in Series D and later are losing money. But, Square, now Block, is a great example of that. When they went IPO, they went IPO at half the valuation that they had in their last round of venture capital. But now the stock is 10 times as much as it was when they went public. So yeah, it all works out. Got a question from Paulo online, our friend Paulo from Brazil. And he asks, is there any decision support system based on AI to help investors make decisions in Japan? Okay, what about here? You were about ready to say something. Akemi-san?
Yes, just about a month ago, we are screening the deal.
Yeah.
That AI is going to be helping you for due diligence.
For due diligence. Okay.
And they collect all the data and help, like maybe score system stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
really is
Working on it. Okay. This could be a question that we would throw out to the room. There's a lot of people sitting in the room who have very interesting backgrounds, I think. Is anybody aware of an AI-based decision support or decision assistance system, especially for investing, especially venture investing in Japan? Let's get the mic quickly, okay? Thanks.
My name is Dorian. I'm an entrepreneur, and I was just curious to hear your background, and the stories are interesting. But I do know several systems that are going into IP research. So they are looking at the company's IP and help investors to decide whether the company's IP as a use case of what you're looking for is valuable.
Okay. So that's one aspect of the decision, and that makes sense. That may be the kind of way that this gets into the market, is first in very specific sectors like that. Okay, great question. Other questions from the room? Wait for the mic, please.
Yes, I've lived in Japan for a few years, and I'm working with a lot of the groups that are supporting the startup ecosystem in the country. And it's kind of like a discussion topic. There are like people above the age 30. It's kind of difficult for them to create companies because they can't like re-enter the workforce. And I'm just kind of wondering, like, if you have any thoughts about Japanese people coming here to create companies, or is it better for them to create it there? It's kind of curious.
I think that's a great question. Now, in some ways, all three of our panelists have decided to be active here. So why not go back to Japan and do it there?
Yeah, as I mentioned, I wanna make my next startup global. So that's why yeah, I think the US is the best place to start global company. In terms of the size of success, it's really hard to make $10 billion company in Japan. For example, in tech specifically, just less than 5 startup got $10 billion market cap. But here, over hundreds of these startup exceed $10 billion market cap, right? So that's why I got a small success in Japan. So that's why I wanted to get a much bigger success, and also in terms of the size, and also I wanna pursue my dream or vision to make my company global. So that's why I thought the US is the best place to start the company.
Okay. Akemi-san?
Japan is now changing, so government helping a lot of startups. So it might be a good opportunity for future But so far, it's still behind of the Silicon Valley. So one was like we have a lot of resources for startup, which is lawyer is going to help without charging sometimes, work for equity sometimes. PR firms also, and then also we have a lot of high skilled talent all over the world, and also culture of innovation and risk taking is very, very easier for new business to start it. And then also strong ecosystem in Silicon Valley, we are supporting a lot of innovation and disruption. So that was the reason I stay here.
Okay. In some ways, both you and Changhwan kind of don't fit the typical college grad male Japanese salaried company worker. Do you think that your kind of unusual backgrounds make this a more, is it less of an issue? Are you giving up less to go the route of an entrepreneur? You could have gotten a job with a big Japanese company if you wanted to. I mean, at the time, DNA was actually a big company, already publicly traded.
Yes, I think after I finish business scholar with Dasha teacher, yes, I can find I can find a good position in Japan, and even it's big company. So, but as Niwa-san mentioned, the size of Japanese company is quite limited, below 10 million, $10 billion like that. And the MOT has two service, the Go and insurance, automobile insurance. Even MOT evaluate $2,000 million like that. So we are still young, so we need to challenge bigger, make a bigger startup in US. So that's why I'm here.
Okay, great. I think one question I would like to ask is how your vision changed once you got here, all three of you.
Yeah, I think the biggest surprise to me is how important the diversity is. So, like everyone mentioned, diversity all over the world, and then I couldn't understand what the diversity is in Japan, because in Japan, like 95% of them are Japanese. So it's really rare to speak with like a foreigner, actually, if you are living in Japan. Like, yeah, there are some Korean people or Chinese people, but yeah, it's rare to see. So, but here, like if you have a start company here, you can get employees from all over the world, and then you can get a lot of different perspective, different opinion. We can use their strengths, and also like when we go to other country to expand, you can you can have already like a person to expand the business, to speak their language to expand. So, but if you in Japan, you should hire foreign people, but it's really tough to hire those kind of a diversity team in Japan because of the limitation of the population. So that's what I really learned in the US.
Akemi-san, what is the biggest challenge in getting Japanese customers to buy from foreign startup companies? To buy product from foreign startup companies or to invest in foreign startup companies. The kind of work you're doing helping the startups here go to Japan. What's the biggest challenge?
For startup company? Or
yeah, for either one. I mean, you can look at it from either angle.
Right. So eventually, still Japanese companies are looking for add valued opportunities for their core business. However, as you know, the decision maker in Japan is still they're very they don't want to take risk. They don't want to take responsibility to make a decision, and all the decision is made by group. So it's very difficult for startup to get acquired from Japanese companies.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. Got a question online for Kenji-san. As a bootstrapped startup who never worked with a VC, from your experience, can you give the positives and negatives of good versus not so good venture capitalists for the startup company? How do you distinguish between good investors and not so good investors?
From founder perspective, like all investors are great.
The fun perspective, yeah, right. Anybody's money is green. Okay.
Everyone investing in our companies. But yeah, just kidding. Yeah, like it's depending on the founder. Some founder don't like to get VCs who really be involved and then get advice so many times, it's kind of hands-on investment. And then some of them don't like the VCs who leave who don't help.
Yeah.
So it's really depending on the founder, to be honest. From my perspective, to be honest, I don't care too much. If I can get help, I really appreciate it. And if no, I can ask help to them. So yeah, sorry.
Okay. I think in this dating process that you mentioned, Akemi-san, a big part of it is having a similar vision for the success of the company. That if the investor really sees the same kind of definition of success that the entrepreneur does, you've got a really good relationship. Do you see, Changhwan, do you see yourself as hands-on or not so hands-on?
In my case, I am the hands-on investor in Japan. I invested 3 companies for these 3 years. I always make daily regular meeting every week and every weekday and weekend. Yes, I mean 2 hours for week. So my invested company was so satisfied with my advice. They want my support. That's why they get my investment.
Okay. So this is kind of real hands-on VC work or real hands-on investor work, even at the angel level. And I know, having been part of this process myself, that it really is a long time kind of to get to know each other and really reference checks of other people who've worked with the investor is a big thing that people are looking at before they accept investment. It's certainly not the case that you take the first money that is offered to you. Okay, good. Another question back in the back.
Yeah, so I know Japan's like the 3rd GDP country in the world, so there's a ton of money sitting there. And is there a way Japanese VCs invest in companies, a way to access that capital, but even if they're not able to support our activities here, maybe in Japan market, or get a joint investment from US and Japan VC initially?
Yeah, so your question is to build startup and here and then get funds from Japan?
Or getting funds from both places.
Yeah, I think the network is really important because like a Japanese tech startup ecosystem is like a very dense and not so big. So like you need to be in the like a community, and ideally if you can speak Japanese, that's like a big plus. Other than that, there are so many like investments go into like actually like American VCs. So indirectly, some of like a startup here gets capital from Japan.
Akemi-san, this is really where you live, right? This is the kind of work you're doing a lot, is helping these kind of new relationships to form.
Yeah, a lot of Japanese venture capitalists coming here to Silicon Valley right now.
Yeah.
And they are looking for investment. So it's good opportunities. So, but they're not going to be lead investors. So you might want to get, good strong investor here first, or even the angel or like maybe accelerator, they can invest. That would be really good sign. So Japanese VC will willing to put money on.
In my experience, most of the time when someone wants a Japanese investor in the company, it's because they really want business in the Japan market. That you stay with the easiest investors to deal with, and if you've got somebody who's got to fly across the Pacific every so often, why, right? So most of the time it has to do with market entry, global market entry, which means that you do have a lot of interest on the part of the Japanese investors. JETRO, the Japan External Trade Organization, did a study a couple of years ago. Between the year 2016 and the year 2021, Japanese corporate venture capital firms made 288 investments for over $23 billion in Silicon Valley alone. Now, at the time, the total amount of venture capital investment in Japan was rising between 3 billion the first year to like 6 billion by 2021. So the total amount of money that was invested here in Silicon Valley matched the total amount of VC that was invested in Japan. And this was only by corporate VCs who actually had offices here. So there's always been a lot of interest in the new ideas on this side of the Pacific. I think that if there's anything that's changing, it's this sense that the wall is high, right? I'm sensing a real shrinking of the wall from Japanese startups coming to here, and also foreign startups going into Japan. And that's our topic for next week. So we'll come back to this one for next week. But for now, last question. Okay, and this is kind of a classic question. If you had to do everything all over again, what would you change? Akemi-san, what would you do different? Yeah, grab the mic.
Probably I moved United States when I was probably child.
You would have moved earlier.
Yeah, earlier, maybe
And
3 or 5 years
gotten your
old.
education here
Yes.
before college. Okay.
Yeah, similar. I wanted to, at least come to the US. Even like 1 year is fine during the college, and then that's helps me a lot.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Changhwan?
Yeah, very similar answer, but yes, I mentioned I didn't have a permanent visa in Japan, so I neglect to come to US if I don't have permanent visa or when I finish schooling, so I can make a startup in US, unlike my career in Japan. So I would do it.
Okay. So international going early is a good thing. I think that this is a good point for us to end our panel discussion today. I want to thank all of our panelists for your candid remarks. It's hard to get people who will tell you what really things feel like and what really goes on in, behind the scenes. And thanks to everybody for coming. Please join me in thanking our panelists.